Have you ever wondered why some of the wealthiest people in the world go out of their way to appear humble or even poor? It's not just about showing off their wealth, but rather, a calculated strategy that's rooted in psychology, perception, and long-term success. In today's video, we'll uncover the surprising reasons why rich people love pretending to be poor and how this mindset can offer valuable lessons for all of us, regardless of our financial situation. From entrepreneurs to celebrities, some of the wealthiest individuals purposefully downplay their affluence to build stronger connections, avoid unnecessary attention, and even keep their financial goals on track. It's not about deception, it's about maintaining focus, staying grounded, and not letting wealth change who they are. But beyond that, there are deeper psychological strategies that have helped them maintain their wealth, build lasting relationships, and continue growing in a world that constantly pushes for status and recognition. In this video, we'll explore the reasons behind this behavior, what we can learn from it, and how adopting a more modest mindset can actually benefit our own personal and financial growth. So, whether you're just starting your journey to financial success or you're already well on your way, these insights are not to be missed. Stick around as we dive into the psychology of wealth, the importance of humility, and why pretending to be poor could be the secret weapon of the rich. Let's get started. Number 1, the psychology of wealth and identity. The pressure of wealth. Wealth is often viewed as the ultimate symbol of success, providing an individual with the freedom to live comfortably, pursue passions, and gain societal admiration. However, the reality for many wealthy individuals is far more complicated. While wealth can open doors, it also comes with immense pressure to maintain a certain image, an image that often centers around luxury, exclusivity, and ostentation. This pressure to appear perpetually successful can be exhausting and alienating, leaving individuals to question if they are truly living authentically or merely conforming to societal expectations. For many wealthy individuals, the desire to maintain appearances is driven by external expectations. They are constantly under scrutiny from the public, the media, and even friends and family who expect them to uphold an image of affluence. However, this lifestyle can quickly become unfulfilling. What may seem like an enviable life filled with material abundance can, in fact, be an emotional and psychological burden. Wealth may give individuals access to the finest things in life, but it can also force them into a constant state of performing, an exhausting game of keeping up with a never-ending demand for status. In the end, many wealthy people find themselves questioning the very meaning of their success. They begin to feel disconnected from their true selves, unable to distinguish their identity from their wealth. This realization can prompt a reevaluation of priorities, with some opting to downplay their wealth in an effort to recapture a sense of authenticity and peace. Fear of being judged. One of the most complex psychological phenomena among wealthy individuals is imposter syndrome, a feeling that one is undeserving of their success or status, despite evidence to the contrary. For wealthy individuals, this manifests in a fear of being judged for their affluence. They worry that others may see them as arrogant, out of touch, or disconnected from the struggles of everyday life. This fear can lead to a desire to fit in with non-wealthy people, avoiding the perception that they are above others or live a life that is too removed from the realities most people face. The desire to be perceived as normal can drive some wealthy individuals to adopt simpler lifestyles or even purposely downplay their success. Rather than flaunting their wealth, they may prefer to live in modest homes, drive ordinary cars, or dress in unassuming clothes. This isn't necessarily about a rejection of wealth, but rather an effort to avoid the societal judgment that often accompanies extreme wealth. In some cases, wealthy individuals may feel guilty about their fortune, seeing it as a privilege that others may never experience. This guilt can lead to a conscious effort to appear less wealthy or to live in a way that makes others feel more comfortable. The irony, however, is that by doing so, they often become trapped in the cycle of constantly managing their image, never able to fully escape the pressures of wealth. Wealth and ego. For many wealthy individuals, the accumulation of wealth becomes intrinsically tied to their sense of self-worth. The more wealth they amass, the more they identify with it, using material possessions and luxury as a reflection of their status and success. This connection between wealth and ego can be dangerous, as it reinforces the notion that a person's value is determined by external factors. The Stoic philosophers, however, offer a radically different approach to wealth and identity. They teach that true value comes not from possessions, but from internal virtues such as wisdom, courage, and integrity. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all emphasize the importance of detaching from material goods and focusing on the cultivation of one's character. For Stoics, the ego is not to be inflated by external successes, but humbled by the understanding that wealth, power, and status are fleeting and ultimately inconsequential in the pursuit of virtue. By rejecting the link between wealth and ego, Stoicism invites individuals to explore a more profound, meaningful way of living, one that does not depend on external validation. In the Stoic worldview, wealth is seen as indifferent, it can be used wisely or destructively, but it does not define who we are. As Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "It is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Number 2, Stoicism and the rejection of materialism. The Stoic view on wealth. In Stoic philosophy, wealth is neither inherently good nor evil. It is considered an indifferent, meaning that it is not morally significant in and of itself. What matters is how wealth is used and how it affects the character of the person who possesses it. Wealth can be used to promote virtue, for example by helping others or supporting noble causes, or it can be a distraction, leading to indulgence and a neglect of the more important aspects of life, such as wisdom and self-control. The Stoics believed that material possessions should never be the focus of one's life, nor should they be the source of one's happiness. The pursuit of wealth, when done out of a desire for power or status, is seen as a form of bondage, a way of being controlled by desires that are ultimately fleeting and unreliable. True happiness, according to Stoicism, comes not from external circumstances, but from an internal state of mind grounded in virtue, rationality, and self-discipline. Epictetus, for example, famously taught that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This perspective encourages individuals to find contentment in simplicity and to seek happiness not in the accumulation of goods, but in the cultivation of wisdom and virtue. For the Stoic, the greatest wealth is the ability to live a life of moral clarity, independent of the fluctuations of external circumstances. Self-sufficiency, autarkia. One of the key tenets of Stoic philosophy is the concept of autarkia, or self-sufficiency. This idea encourages individuals to find contentment with minimal material possessions, focusing on developing inner resources such as resilience, fortitude, and self-control. The Stoic ideal is not to reject all material goods, but to cultivate a mindset that is not dependent on them. Whether rich or poor, a Stoic aims to be self-sufficient, deriving happiness not from external wealth but from the ability to live in harmony with nature and reason. By practicing self-sufficiency, Stoics are able to withstand the inevitable hardships of life without being devastated by loss or misfortune. They are not dependent on wealth for their sense of self-worth, nor do they seek luxury to fulfill their desires. Instead, they find contentment in the simplicity of life and the ability to maintain inner peace regardless of external circumstances. This Stoic approach to self-sufficiency may explain why some wealthy individuals, particularly those influenced by Stoic teachings, prefer to downplay their affluence. They may not feel the need to flaunt their wealth because they understand that true contentment comes from within, not from the possessions they can amass. Epictetus and simplicity. Epictetus, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, emphasized the importance of simplicity in all aspects of life. He lived a life of voluntary poverty, rejecting luxury in favor of focusing on what truly matters, developing one's character. Epictetus believed that our attachments to material things could limit our freedom and prevent us from achieving true happiness. For him, happiness was found not in what we have, but in how we respond to life's challenges. Epictetus taught that external circumstances, including wealth, should not define a person's happiness. Instead, It is the individual's inner response to life's circumstances that determines their peace of mind. Whether rich or poor, the Stoic strives to remain unaffected by external wealth and instead cultivates an attitude of gratitude, acceptance, and self-control. Seneca's Letters on Luxury. Seneca, another key Stoic figure, also critiqued the pursuit of luxury and excess, even though he himself was a wealthy man. In his letters to Lucilius, Seneca frequently warned against the dangers of indulgence and extravagance. He recognized that while wealth can provide comfort, it can also lead to a life of complacency and dependence on external pleasures, which can corrupt one's character. Seneca argued that luxury can breed laziness, diminish self-discipline, and ultimately lead to unhappiness. He emphasized that the truly wise person is not swayed by external luxury, and instead finds satisfaction in the simple joys of life. Interestingly, despite his own wealth, Seneca lived a relatively simple life, often writing about the importance of virtue over luxury. This contrast between his lifestyle and his philosophy illustrates why some rich people, influenced by Stoic thought, may choose to downplay their wealth, to avoid vanity, maintain humility, and focus on their inner character rather than their external circumstances. In essence, the Stoic approach to wealth encourages individuals to see material goods as neither good nor bad, but as tools that can either help or hinder one's pursuit of virtue. By rejecting the need for excessive luxury, embracing simplicity, and focusing on internal growth, individuals can live more fulfilling, balanced lives, regardless of their financial status. Number 3, the paradox of displaying modesty. Public versus private wealth. In society, wealth is often viewed as a mark of success, but it can also come with a host of expectations and pressures. For the wealthy, being publicly seen as successful can invite admiration, envy, and scrutiny. There is an unspoken assumption that those with wealth must display it in conspicuous ways, through luxury cars, extravagant homes, and opulent lifestyles. However, many wealthy individuals find these public displays of wealth to be more burdensome than rewarding. The constant need to maintain an image of affluence can lead to feelings of alienation from those who don't share the same financial resources. This public scrutiny often drives wealthy individuals to adopt a more modest or low-key public persona. The desire to blend in and be accepted by the broader society can outweigh the desire for external validation that comes from flaunting one's wealth. For some, being seen as ordinary or humble is a way to avoid the alienation that wealth can create. By downplaying their affluence, they seek to maintain their social connections without the constant reminder of their financial superiority, recognizing that excessive display of wealth can create resentment or judgment. This paradox, accumulating wealth while simultaneously seeking to downplay it, is central to the psychological experiences of many rich individuals. Philosophy of modesty. The practice of modesty, often influenced by Stoic or minimalist philosophies, becomes a way for wealthy individuals to detach from material possessions and reduce their attachment to external goods. These individuals may continue to enjoy the comfort and security that wealth affords them, but they seek to cultivate an inner life focused on simplicity, virtue, and self-restraint. Adopting a modest lifestyle is a rejection of the idea that happiness comes from outward displays of success, and instead, an affirmation that true contentment lies in personal growth, relationships, and inner peace. Stoicism, in particular, teaches that wealth is indifferent, neither good nor bad, and should not become the central focus of one's life. For many wealthy Stoics or minimalists, modesty is a conscious choice to live in accordance with nature, prioritizing the cultivation of character over the accumulation of material goods. This doesn't mean rejecting wealth entirely, but rather embracing a lifestyle that avoids the excesses and distractions that come with conspicuous consumption. The purpose of modesty, in this sense, is to reduce dependency on external circumstances and to focus on what truly matters, living virtuously and fostering meaningful connections with others. Living virtuously versus living for appearances. In the Stoic worldview, virtue is the highest good, and everything else, including wealth, is considered indifferent. Stoics teach that a virtuous life is one that is lived according to nature, which means pursuing wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance above all else. For the wealthy, this teaching can lead to a rejection of excessive displays of materialism, not out of guilt. In Stoic thought, living virtuously does not mean abandoning wealth or luxuries entirely but rather not allowing them to define one's identity or to become the focus of life. When wealthy individuals downplay their affluence or avoid public displays of wealth, they are often motivated by the Stoic ideal of not becoming attached to external things. Instead, they focus on cultivating virtues such as integrity, humility, and wisdom, which are seen as the true markers of success. By prioritizing inner growth over external validation, these individuals live according to the Stoic principle that wealth, status, and appearance are secondary to living a life of purpose and character. Number 4. The fear of corruption. Corruption of wealth. In Stoic philosophy, the accumulation of wealth, if not approached with caution, can lead to moral corruption. Wealth itself is not considered evil, but the pursuit of it, when done excessively or without virtue, can foster arrogance, greed, and a loss of moral clarity. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle articulated the idea of the golden mean, which states that virtue lies between extremes. In the case of wealth, the golden mean would suggest that while wealth itself is not immoral, an excessive attachment to it or an imbalanced desire for it can lead to vice. For Stoics, the danger of wealth lies in its ability to shift focus away from virtuous living. Wealth can breed complacency, making individuals believe they are invulnerable to the challenges of life. It can foster a sense of entitlement and disrupt one's sense of gratitude, leading to the belief that happiness is achievable through external circumstances alone. By focusing on wealth as the source of happiness, individuals may neglect the inner work required to cultivate wisdom, courage, and integrity. This, according to Stoicism, is where corruption takes root, when wealth becomes a means of validating the ego rather than fostering true happiness. The role of humility. Many wealthy individuals are keenly aware of the risks that come with affluence, particularly the potential for moral degradation. Humility becomes a defense mechanism against the corrupting influence of wealth. Those who practice humility do so not just to avoid pride but as a safeguard for their character. The more one possesses, the more one can be tempted to overindulge and lose sight of what is truly important. For some wealthy individuals, remaining humble is a way to ensure that wealth does not define their identity or erode their sense of morality. Humility allows them to maintain a balanced perspective, reminding them that true fulfillment comes from within and not from material possessions. Humble living also serves as a reminder that wealth can be fleeting, and one's character is ultimately what matters most in the long run. In rejecting excessive displays of wealth, these individuals are consciously avoiding the potential for their affluence to lead them astray from their values. The idea of contentment and fulfillment. While wealth can provide comfort and security, it does not guarantee lasting happiness. Stoicism emphasizes that true contentment comes from within, through the cultivation of virtue, wisdom, and self-control. For many wealthy individuals, the realization that external wealth cannot bring true fulfillment is a key turning point. Despite having access to luxury, they may find themselves unsatisfied or even anxious, realizing that no amount of material goods can compensate for the deeper needs of the soul. In an effort to find true fulfillment, some wealthy individuals intentionally downplay their riches and turn their focus inward. They seek contentment not through accumulation but through self-discovery, personal growth, and meaningful relationships. This journey toward inner fulfillment often leads them to embrace simplicity, humility, and a lifestyle that prioritizes emotional and spiritual well-being over material wealth. In doing so, they may find a deeper sense of purpose and happiness that transcends the temporary satisfaction provided by external possessions. Number 5. Wealth as a tool, not a goal. Wealth as a means, not an end. Stoicism views wealth not as an ultimate goal but as a means to achieve personal freedom and fulfillment. The Stoics teach that external goods, including wealth, are indifferent, they are neither good nor bad in themselves. The key lies in how they are used. For some wealthy individuals, the decision to downplay or hide their wealth is a deliberate choice to emphasize that their true worth is not in their material possessions, but in how they use their resources to improve themselves and the world around them. By treating wealth as a tool, these individuals reject the idea that success is measured solely by accumulation. They understand that wealth, when used wisely, can enable them to pursue personal growth, freedom, and positive impact. Philanthropy and generosity. Generosity is one of the core Stoic virtues, closely linked to justice and the common good. For many wealthy individuals who practice Stoic principles, downplaying their wealth can be an expression of their desire to focus on charitable giving rather than on material accumulation. Stoicism teaches that one should not be attached to possessions, but should instead use one's resources to help others and serve the greater good. Some rich people deliberately minimize their displays of wealth to avoid appearing ostentatious and instead direct their energy toward philanthropic efforts. By adopting a simpler lifestyle, they encourage a culture of humility and generosity, emphasizing the value of helping others rather than showcasing personal wealth. This alignment with Stoic teachings on virtue and justice helps these individuals build a legacy based not on what they own, but on the positive impact they have on others. Personal development over material accumulation. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the focus on personal development over the pursuit of material wealth. The Stoics argue that happiness comes from cultivating inner virtues such as wisdom, courage, and self-control, rather than from acquiring external goods. In contrast to modern consumerism, which often glorifies wealth and material possessions, Stoic philosophy teaches that contentment comes from within. Wealthy individuals who practice Stoicism may choose to minimize their displays of wealth in order to avoid fostering materialistic priorities in their own lives and in the lives of others. By downplaying their riches, they actively challenge the cultural notion that accumulating wealth is the ultimate goal. Instead, they focus on continuous self-improvement and on living a life of virtue, demonstrating that true fulfillment is rooted in internal growth and wisdom, not in external possessions. Number 6, the power of control and detachment. Control over external goods. In Stoic thought, true happiness and freedom lie not in controlling external circumstances, but in controlling our responses to them. Wealth, as an external good, is subject to the whims of fortune and can be fleeting. However, Stoicism teaches that by developing emotional resilience and control over our desires, we can achieve peace of mind regardless of our financial situation. For wealthy individuals, the practice of detachment from wealth is crucial. By not allowing wealth to define their identity or dictate their happiness, they gain greater control over their inner state. Downplaying their wealth or choosing to live simply allows them to focus on cultivating virtues such as temperance and wisdom, rather than being caught up in the endless pursuit of more material possessions. This Stoic practice of detachment enables individuals to navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and tranquility, as they are no longer dependent on wealth for their sense of self-worth. Detachment from material possessions. Detachment from material possessions is a core Stoic principle, and many wealthy individuals who adopt this philosophy do so by intentionally downplaying their wealth. Rather than being distracted or defined by their external goods, they focus on cultivating an inner life of virtue, self-discipline, and gratitude. This detachment is not about renouncing wealth altogether but rather about recognizing that material possessions are transient and cannot bring true happiness. Wealth, when viewed as a tool rather than a goal, becomes something that can be used to improve one's life and the lives of others, without becoming the center of one's identity. For these individuals, living simply, even in the face of great wealth, reflects a commitment to maintaining their focus on what truly matters: personal growth, moral integrity, and the cultivation of meaningful relationships. The role of discipline in maintaining wealth. Stoicism teaches that self-discipline is essential in maintaining both wealth and virtue. For wealthy individuals, exercising discipline in managing their wealth can help prevent attachment to material possessions and ensure that wealth does not become an obstacle to living a virtuous life. By downplaying their wealth, these individuals practice the Stoic discipline of self-control. They avoid indulging in excess or flaunting their riches, choosing instead to live within their means and to prioritize their values over external appearances. This discipline helps them maintain a sense of humility and ensures that their wealth serves as a means to an end, personal growth, philanthropy, and a virtuous life, rather than as an end in itself. Number 7. Social perception and the desire for authenticity. Authenticity and connection. For many wealthy individuals, authenticity is a crucial value. In a society where wealth often defines one's social status, the pressure to conform to certain expectations can be overwhelming. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on virtue and living according to nature, encourages individuals to be true to themselves, rather than living for external validation. By downplaying their wealth, some rich people choose to distance themselves from societal expectations and the superficiality that comes with wealth. This allows them to form deeper, more genuine connections with others. They recognize that wealth can create barriers between themselves and those who are not as financially privileged. By embracing simplicity and modesty, they cultivate relationships based on shared values and authentic connection, rather than on financial status. Fear of exploitation. Wealth can attract unwanted attention, and some rich individuals fear being exploited or manipulated because of their resources. Stoicism teaches the importance of protecting one's personal freedom and maintaining autonomy, and downplaying wealth can be a strategy to prevent others from treating them differently or seeking to exploit their resources. By presenting themselves as ordinary, wealthy individuals may avoid being seen as a target for opportunistic behavior. They can continue to live freely and authentically, without the pressures or expectations that often come with wealth. This detachment from wealth serves as a form of self-protection, allowing them to maintain their dignity and integrity in the face of external pressures. Cultural expectations. Cultural values play a significant role in shaping how wealthy individuals perceive their wealth and how they choose to express it. In societies where humility is valued over ostentation, the desire to fit in can motivate wealthy individuals to downplay their wealth. In line with Stoic principles of simplicity and virtue, these individuals may choose to embrace modesty as a way of aligning with societal values and reducing the potential for alienation. Number 8. Case studies and real-world examples. Examples of rich people embracing Stoic simplicity. Some of the wealthiest individuals in the world have embraced Stoic simplicity, choosing to live modestly despite their vast fortunes. Warren Buffett, for example, is known for his frugal lifestyle despite being one of the richest people on the planet. He continues to live in the same modest house he bought in 1958 and avoids extravagant displays of wealth. This choice aligns with Stoic principles, emphasizing that true wealth lies in one's values and actions, not in material possessions. Other wealthy individuals who practice Stoic simplicity include Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, who are known for their philanthropic efforts and focus on long-term goals, rather than personal luxury. These individuals demonstrate that true fulfillment comes from contributing to the greater good and focusing on personal growth, rather than seeking validation through material wealth. Analysis of public figures and their public personas. Public figures such as Steve Jobs and Elon Musk have also embraced a minimalist lifestyle despite their wealth. Jobs, for example, was known for his simple attire and humble demeanor, despite his vast fortune. His focus was on innovation and improving the world, rather than on accumulating wealth or showing off his success. Musk, similarly, has chosen to downplay his personal wealth in favor of focusing on his ambitious projects aimed at addressing global challenges. These examples demonstrate how modern entrepreneurs and public figures often align their behavior with Stoic principles, prioritizing personal growth, simplicity, and the common good over wealth accumulation or public recognition. Number 9. The impact of social media and wealth display. Social media and wealth. Social media has become a double-edged sword when it comes to wealth display. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook have fostered a culture of showcasing luxury, success, and opulence, often blurring the lines between appearance and reality. The desire to post extravagant vacations, expensive cars, designer clothes, and lavish homes has led many to compare their lives with the curated highlight reels of others. For wealthy individuals, social media offers an avenue for flaunting their success, but it also invites unwanted scrutiny and judgment.